Jobber Nation, good evening. Welcome to the first episode of the JTP Lounge. As always, I'm Janelle from HR, here with Sir Wilkins and Mrblacc, and we have a very, very special guest, our first guest to the lounge. And she's prepared. She came ready. She's suited and booted. So,
is your Wi-Fi on, Janelle?
Mine?
Yeah.
Let's see. It should be.
I think I heard like an echo.
Yeah. Because you're.
Now, are we good? Can everybody hear me?
You keep stalling.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know why.
Keep glitching.
The Wi-Fi is on.
Maybe take it off your Wi-Fi? You have a good service down at the crib?
Yeah, it's Spectrum.
All right, you seem fine now. All right.
All right. So, without further ado, I typically don't introduce everyone because I give them the floor to introduce themselves. So, our lovely special guest, please let the viewers know who you are.
Hello, everyone. My name is Renee Michelle, and it's a pleasure to meet you all.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. We appreciate you, Miss Renee.
Thank you for having me.
All right,
problem.
so this, typically we do like a interview type of style, but I feel like because it's a lounge, we should switch it up, kind of get a little bit more personal, kind of a little bit more into who you are outside of wrestling too. But before we do get into who you are, do you want to let the viewers know kind of your journey when you started wrestling, what school did you train at, and things like that? Just kind of get a background, blanket explanation of your wrestling background.
Oh, absolutely. My first wrestling show was March 29, 2013. And started off, I was only 3 months in, but Gilbert, he found me. He approached me. He convinced me to get into wrestling. I was completely against it. And I was doing government contracting. I was actually doing government contracting for the 3-letter agency during the time.
Oh.
The DMV. So
yeah, that makes sense. Because you're in Maryland, right?
No, I was DC, Maryland, Virginia. Yeah,
DMV.
Yeah.
There, and then I was also getting into I also been modeling, and then of course I was trying to get into acting. I actually wanted to do stunts, so I grew up doing arts. I did a Muay Thai, Taekwondo, Choli Fud, weapons, and capoeira. So I was very familiar with that field, but because I had that background, wrestling helped. It goes well with the wrestling. So when Gilbert found me, he convinced me to get into it. I was totally against it. He found me on social media. He begged. I said, all right, I'll give it a try. And if I don't like it, then that's it. Tried out the first time, caught the wrestling bug, and the rest is history from there. I was only there, I would say, maybe about 3 months, and then the school shut down. And, I don't know. But luckily, it's the way of life.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. And then luckily I was come across a man named Dan McDevitt, and he's the owner of MCW. And then MCW opened up. And I would say that, I started my actual training from there. And then I was less than 2 years in the business, probably maybe a year and a half. And then I had an opportunity to go to Japan, which I stayed there for many. Get your butt down.
I was wondering. I was like, who's cooking?
Yeah.
It's Milky. Remember I was telling you guys earlier, Milky, Mr. Independent right here, nosy. But anyways, like I was saying, I stayed over in Japan for quite some time, and I was being trained over there in Japan by Chigusa Nagio, which I call her mom. Yeah. So from that, I went to India, and I did the Great Khali's first show over in India. And
oh wow.
I've been to Canada, I've been to different parts of the US, and Japan is always going to be my second home to me. Even though I was born in DC, raised in Florida, both of those are my home in the States, but also Japan, it will always have my heart.
Ladies and gentlemen, Renee's a badass.
Officially.
Facts.
Badass.
Yeah.
Facts.
But like a lot of people don't know that, and I think like a lot of people they get like this misconception because how the way I look, they go like, oh, she's just a model and this and that. I'm like, apparently they don't take the heat with caution. Don't judge a book by its cover.
So you be fucking people up.
Let's just say I'm licensed, locked, and loaded. Okay.
So everyone tread lightly, okay?
I love how very modest you said that.
Yeah, very humble brag.
No, I mean, if you're on property, I can't like you trespassing, so it's like
true. You're in Florida, so that's already like that. So what are some of your like highlights throughout your career? Like what is one match you can say like if you left the business, this was the match that you wanted to be remembered by?
Ooh, I don't think I'm done yet.
Oh, okay. So actually, who would you like to wrestle then if that's the case?
Sign or not sign?
Oh.
Either or.
Yeah.
Well, of course, Natalia. She's at the top of the list. I wrestled Mickey. I would love to get in the ring with Mickie James again. She has so much experience. But throughout many girls that I wrestle, Mickie James is the only person that I always get nervous in the ring with. I don't know. There's something about Mickey. I can't figure it out, I love getting in the ring with Melina. She has like that Latin fire. And then there's so many girls I got in the ring with. Like Asuka, I definitely want to get in the ring with Asuka for sure. So she's up there. I would say Natty, Asuka. Oh gosh, there's a lot. I mean, I definitely when I was in Japan, I definitely got in the ring with a lot of the elders, like the old Joshi women, like Karu Ito, Chikusa Nagio. So that was like a long list, and those are like older generation ladies.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of your time in Japan, what are some life lessons that you learned from being there that you still carry with yourself to this day?
I would say the humbleness and the respect for one another, because Japan, like their culture is a very selfless country. It's like it could be easily taught. It's just you got to be there to have the full experience and to be able to appreciate, the lifestyle and how the way. Oh my God, James, get the cat because the cat's gonna.
That's not random.
Like he's a daredevil. Sorry, I'm backing. So.
All good.
No
this
problem.
Is what we want. You at
your natural
environment,
openness doesn't matter because we don't judge.
Yeah, we don't.
This is my life. Started my life. I love it there. I love the culture there. I love the food. I am a foodie. I like to try all different types of food. And how the way they're like very respectful and very courteous to one another, especially like, during this pandemic, a lot of people are complaining about wearing a mask. It's like, put on a mask. Like, even when I'm sick, I wear a mask, and it's not to like get anything from other people. It's to prevent you getting others sick.
Okay. So intergender wrestling is like a thing within the independent scene.
Yes.
If you had to pick two men to get in the ring, who would it be?
I knew he would be the first one.
Me too.
Fun, because I still have my wedding veil ripped in the black footprint on my dress. So I'm
First of all, that dress. Where did you even get that from? Like that. I've never seen such a red. Like it was just so red, but so beautiful.
Yes. It wasn't a tacky red. It was a nice red. Expensive red.
Not like Bloods and Crips red, but just like a red.
Like that. Ooh.
It wasn't too woo. It wasn't.
So that dress was heavy. That dress was heavy. But no, I had the dress actually custom made over in England. So I'm very detailed on certain things. So I wanted things to represent things over in England. Yes, monkey. And I wanted and I wanted things to represent, you know, here, you know, in America, or, you know, my culture. It's like, it's very much a British American wedding. So I had the wedding dress custom made over in England, and the dress was 150 centimeters long.
Oof.
So,
oh God.
yeah, and then it had a built-in corset with the built-in petticoat. And on top of that, I was already wearing an additional corset, like those old school corsets, and then a petticoat as well. So it gives it more of a boom. But in the back, instead of like, you know, a lot of wedding dress, they always have it zipped up.
Just zipped up. Mm-hmm.
Old Victorian way. Because a lot of people, they think like, okay, white dresses are the traditional wedding dress, which is false. White dress was never a thing until Queen Victoria wore a white dress. And she actually wore ivory, you know, like
off-white.
Ivory. She actually wore like white with ivory, you know, so that's when it became an popular thing for a white wedding dress. So this whole time, a lot of people think like, oh, is that represent white class or virginity or royalty? That's how the white dress came about. But back in the day, a lot of people wore colored dresses. So I back to old school realm, because if you really wear white back in the day, you're more inclined to get it dirty. Versus now, you know, we have all the tools not to get it dirty. But, you know, I wanted to wear something like very Victorian, very old school. I like that type of style. And then the veil, I actually got the material, then I had it made, and I made it like longer than the dress. So I sketched it up. I sketched up how the way I wanted the veil.
Oh.
The material, then I had like work with some ladies to get it made. And then the crown, the tiara, I went to a jeweler. So when I have a daughter, or if I ever have a daughter, I'll pass it down to her big day.
Oh, that's nice.
Damn.
They do like,
this is deep.
That's sentimental. Dang.
They pass down wedding dresses. It's like, what if my daughter don't want to wear a red wedding dress? You know, like, if you really think about it, like, you know, wearing a color dress is not bad. Like over in Africa, women have worn red. Asia, women have worn red, you know. So I actually like red, and I think red and gold is very complimentary, you know. But you know, it's up to the individual on what wedding dress they want to wear, because back in the day, people wore color dresses, not just white.
Wow.
So do you think it's easier because you and your husband are both in the business that you guys were able to come together? Because a lot of, like, you know, even on the independent scene, you see a lot of guys who are married, but their wives aren't in the business, and sometimes it can be hard. So have you guys been able to find a way to kind of come to a common ground and be able to have a schedule that you guys go by? Like, how does your marriage affect your, you know, your wrestling side of, you know, of your lives?
Good question, Janelle.
It really all depends on the individual. Even if you are in the business or are not in the business, it's hard. Because you can be in the business and not have time to see each other, or you know, because people have like different schedules, or those just don't have the time, you know. So it does happen. People, you know, they either it's a make it or break it type of industry. Especially if you're in like sports or any type of entertainment, it has to take like a rare individual to be able to handle that type of lifestyle. Let alone on top of that, you know, is this type of lifestyle fitting for you, and can you handle it as an individual?
Renee, I have a question for you from one of the viewers. Which one of these would you want to see in the Hall of Fame? Miss Elizabeth, Luna, Sable, or Molly Holly?
Ooh. Miss Elizabeth, Sable,
Luna, or Molly Holly?
I would say Luna.
Ooh.
I would say all of them. Why not all of them?
Which one first, though?
Mm-hmm.
I actually, okay. So I would go with Miss Elizabeth, because she is actually like the first like feminine, you know, energy diva, you know, as a woman. I would say as a wrestler, Luna.
I like that one. That was good. All right. Another one for you. Top 5 wrestlers of all time.
Top 5 wrestlers?
Not including your husband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't count.
Wait. What do you mean? Like wrestlers I could think of in my head, like female or male, or what?
Like of
female
all
or
time.
male?
Female, male, all time.
Of
That's
all-
your go-to. Like you're like, yo, when someone asks you off the rip, you could name them off the top of your head instantly.
Oh, okay. I mean, besides my husband, there's Jushin, Thunder Liger, Jushin. There's Eddie Guerrero. There's Ricky the Model Martel, Lex Luger.
Hold on, wait, Lex Luger?
Why Lex?
Yeah, why?
Why not?
Okay, that's your opinion.
Her fives.
Yeah,
but nobody. Very few times I hear.
I've never heard anyone say.
I never heard anyone say Lex
Luger as in their top 5.
I never heard nobody.
He's great. He has a great charisma and attitude, and how his presence in the ring and everything.
Okay, you got 2 more.
In that period, yes, because I watched on the WWE Network, Cheap Plug, they had the Best of Yokozuna, and they showed like the build up to when Lex slammed Yoko at the Intrepid here in New York. And like I agree. I think at that time
I could agree with that. Yeah,
charisma, how he presented himself.
His presentation was amazing.
No one looked like him.
Come on, like he had the whole Lex truck, like a real bus. And it actually went around America, and people actually got the opportunity to experience that. So he was the whole package. He was. Yeah.
No Sherry.
Would you say?
Sherry.
Oh, yeah.
You know what?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's a good one.
That's a real good one. One more.
I think about 5.
Nah, I want one more. Don't toss another one. For good measure.
Who's like your 6th man?
Yeah, off the bench.
6 man. Ooh. I mean, I would say like I used to like watch Jeff Hardy. Is that kind of weird? Like Jeff Hardy.
Yo, you really are a wrestler.
Yeah.
Because everybody you've mentioned is so
different.
Yeah, for like many different reasons. Like they're good for many different reasons.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody got Eddie somewhere on their list. So
of course.
Liger is somewhere up there, but the other 3, the other 4, different.
So Renee, you mentioned you were a foodie. What are some of your favorite foods?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So I love to cook. I do love to cook.
Okay.
And as much as like my husband is on this diet of his, like I like making from anything. I like making like Gordon Ramsay dishes. I like making Cuban dishes, Italian dishes, Spanish, like Korean dishes, Filipino dishes. I like a little bit of Southern dishes. Like recently I made not too long ago, it was like a roll. So it looked like it's like the meat of the hamburger, and you put it like all like, spinach, cheese, whatever, and the seasoning and all that, and you lay it out, right? But then you roll it. So it looked like a giant meatloaf, but it's like it looked like a giant meatloaf, but all the ingredients of it is like a hamburger. So you pop it in the oven, let it cook, take it out, get the aluminum foil out from oven it, cook it all the way, and there you have it. And you could just slice it. So either that, you could eat it without the bun or with the bun.
Look at that.
That sounds mad good. I actually might try that. Like,
I'm definitely doing that. Renee, with the next 5 years coming up, and like you getting the time to like sit down for a little bit during this pandemic, did you put together any particular goals that you have in mind?
Yes, I'm actually, of course, like still trying to work on my body, and sometimes like I have like moments that I want to like binge and eat all the junk food in the world, but obviously I'm at the point right now I'm just like revamping myself. As you can see, I'm rocking the honey. The others will come very soon. It's already ready. It's just like I have not put it out there yet.
Oh, so we're changing hair colors.
Yeah, we're changing hair colors. We're changing wrestling gear. We're changing everything from head to toe.
We got a sneak peek of that. Just putting that out there. Exclusive job it is.
So let me ask you a question. What are some of the things that you had learned and picked up during this whole time being so much at home during the pandemic that it added not only to your personal life but to your wrestling life?
I don't mind it. I'm a little bit of a homebody, if anything. But I love it. not too many people, not that much. But then again, it's not really affecting me because I'm still doing the same little schedule, like waking up, working, going to CrossFit, coming back home, eating, being home. But that's just my life, training.
Are you into CrossFit?
Yeah.
Wow. Do you prefer, because I know like Seth Rollins does it, there's a couple other superstars that do CrossFit. Has that helped you in the ring?
I would say it made my body change in a good way.
Okay.
It helped me develop muscle and helped me be able to lift. I started getting stronger each and every time. Like a lot of people have this misconception or stigma or CrossFit hurts a lot of people, yada yada yada. And I was like, no, it's actually the individual if they're not doing it correctly. Or
100%.
Okay, any sport that you do, if you don't do it correctly, you'll get hurt. So it's just the same thing with CrossFit. It's a very high circuit, intense workout. I need someone to be yelling at me, pushing me to my limit, but not to push me to the point that I actually, hurt myself and, break a bone or anything. But, it's a nice little community. It's like you form a little community out of it.
Wow.
But I like it. I mean, it keeps me in shape. I noticed I got a lot stronger. I noticed that, how the way my body is changing. It's not becoming boxy or whatever. I guess it depends on the individual, how their genetic, thank God, daddy, mom, for genetic. So it's filling me in all in the right places.
Speaking of that, what is your background, girl? What is where's your family from?
I was just about to ask that.
Because I hear a bit of an accent and I'm trying to figure it out. I'm like, where? I get the DMV area, so I hear that. But I'm like, I still don't know.
Yeah, so I actually eventually I wanted to take the 23, the 23andMe or the 21, the blood sample. But from what I have been told throughout my whole life, I'm part Cuban, Native American, Italian, Black, Irish, Spanish, Cherokee, French, and German.
You're everything. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay. Whole pot.
My maiden name, is a German last name, but it's like I grew up speaking Spanish first and then I learned English and then I'm not around many Spanish speakers. So it's like, if you don't use it, you lose it. And then it's
nice. So wait, who's Cuban?
On my mother's side of the family.
Okay.
Cuban and Spaniard and Italian and Irish on that side of the family. But you have the Cubans and Spaniards on that side. You have the Native Americans, the Blacks, the Germans on this side.
Wow.
But it's as far as I know, was the Native Americans, Tuhi and Aniwaha.
Ooh. Oh. She's Native American.
Right. We didn't even ask what tribe. She gave that up.
Yeah.
So one of the questions I have for you is, straight up, we've been talking for the past 20 minutes. You seem like you are focused when it comes to life and everything ever since you got into the business. But was there ever a point when you wanted to give up? Yo, let me just go back to doing this regular 9-to-5 job. I'm done with this.
I still do the regular thing. It's just not 9 to 5, but it's hella early. But at one point, I would say during the time when I was injured, I blew my ACL, MCL, meniscus.
Oh. Wait, all three?
Mm-hmm.
How?
It was just such, you would have figured that something like that would have happened during a big, move or something like that. But all I did was just jump down, and for whatever reason, and maybe because I was just training too hard and not letting my body rest or whatever, my knee just gave out. And then I collapsed. And then I tried to get back up, I collapsed, I covered, the girls, and I'm like, I think I'm injured, because it was a feeling, your adrenaline's rushing. You don't you're like, that's strange,
This was during a match.
Yeah. And I was like, that's very strange. That's weird. I never felt anything like that before. So I was pinning all three girls, and I'm like, I think I'm injured. They're like, what do you want to do? I'm like, I don't know. Throw a line and see what happens. So, we got up, she threw a line. I ducked it. I'm like, okay, I'm moving. And then as soon as I try to give her a punch back, I collapsed again. And I'm like, nope, I'm out. You know, like, tapped out. And I rolled out the ring and fell into the floor. And I forgot that there wasn't any padding on the floor. So I fell into the cement floor.
Wow.
Oh, damn.
Oof, oof, oof.
I'm like, I am out. So, I mean, the girls, they finished the match, the rest of the match, you know, without me, which is great. You know, like, I think like a lot of the fans and even the people in the back, they did not know that I was injured. They thought I was selling how I normally always sell.
Hold on, round of applause, guys.
She out here working.
That's good work. Good work rate.
Good work.
Yeah. So then, I was out for like out for about like 6 to 9 months, and it usually takes like about a year. But I went to one of the best surgeons here in Orlando, Florida, and then went through like intense like therapy training and everything. And then the day that I actually got cleared was the day that I debuted and opened up Monday Night Raw with my husband.
Oh, what? Hold up. So that whole spiel with you and your husband, you were coming off of an injury.
Yes. The day that I got cleared, they're like, okay, throw it in there. And I'm like, wait, what? No.
How was that experience? Like,
that's a great segue, Janelle.
Whoop. How was it like being like in the ring with your husband?
It was exciting. It was like, you know, like when you feel your own heartbeat beating in your chest, you know, like you never like thought in a million years, you know, especially like with your husband. But all of it happened at the whim. Okay, I had no idea all of this would even happen to me. I had no idea all of this was even going to happen on my wedding. So it's like
this. Hold on. That was really your wedding?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait. Time out.
How you did it? How did that?
No, I thought that. I thought that like it was a work.
No. Yeah. Okay. Apologies for them not catching on. Like I was like, that was her whole like. She walked down the aisle. She had her dress. They took pictures. Like it was legit.
I know that, but I didn't think it was her actual wedding. I thought it was like, all right, we're gonna shoot this here.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: my husband and I, we actually been married through the court, 2017.
So
we wanted our family and friends all together. He has family over in England. I have family all over the place. It's just our schedule was just so crazy.
Hectic.
It was affected. So we, even though we got married through the court system and everything else, paperwork is like what, you know, like me being the only girl, you know, and my mom's like, look, like I had this vision, you walking down the aisle. This is what I'm never going to hear the end of it from my mom and my grandma. It took like a whole year planning the wedding. So yeah. And then it was like 2 days prior to the wedding, they go like, hey, like WWE, they want to film it. I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm thinking it's going to be like Sarah Logan and, you know, like her wedding or something like that. And then 2 hours prior to the wedding and me walking down the aisle, they're like, yeah, so they're going to film the 24/7 thing. I'm like, wait, what? 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 Like, what do you mean our truth is coming? Like, what are you talking about?
like he's not invited. What?
Wait, like, okay, like if he wants to eat and stay, that's one thing. Like, what do you mean? What's going on? I don't understand. You know? But honestly, I had no idea where he was at. And I did not know that he was sitting in there. And then he popped out of nowhere. And they were on top of my dress. They were on top of my veil and they were on top of my dress. And
they sure were.
Like I could move, and there was like little candles like on the aisle, and I'm like, if I move, I'm gonna catch on fire. Like, which one is it? You know, like I was like steaming mad. And then of course my bridesmaids, they didn't tell me that my veil ripped and that I have a big old black footprint in the back of my dress. You know,
Lord.
They told me after the wedding, that like 2 days after, because they were like, don't tell Renee because it's just gonna ruin her mood the whole damn day. So it's like,
so they did good though. But that's actually really good though that we saw your honest like reaction.
Yeah, like when I called, I walked and I'm like, if you listen really closely, like you see like a blank facial expression, but underneath I'm like, uh-oh, you know, like I'm like, you know, because I actually said uh-oh right underneath my breath. You know, when Brewer, the referee, like showed up, and I'm like, oh.
That is amazing. But
wait, I got a question. Were the guests in on the was the guests in on a joke, or was it just as surprised as you?
I had to wheel my 89-year-old grandma out of there.
What?
I don't mean to laugh.
Well, I mean, at least you can say your wedding is memorable. Like that is just like you can't.
Right off as well, so that's good.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
What he said?
He said we also made the wedding a tax write-off, so there's that.
Smart. That's why you're a power couple.
Save your money. You just got a new house. That was smart.
You know what?
I know. I know he's not on the thing, but I want to tell Mr. Maverick that his story back to NXT.
Yo,
I felt it right here.
They felt it, huh?
What's that?
Your story back to NXT.
That's right, so did I.
Yeah, no. A lot of people, they thought that it was just a rip, but no, he was really fired. He was really let go.
Wait for real?
Told you. I told you, Janelle.
Damn.
So,
they got me. Because I always think everything's a work. I'm not gonna lie.
Just like Daniel Bryan was a work, right?
And
still do. But anyway.
But no, his ass was fired.
Wow.
But then his ass got a contract, so I guess it really don't matter.
But it's great because it's like, we were like, okay, well, if things doesn't work here in the U.S., we could always go to England. I'm all for it going to England. I was like, okay, well, I'll have a life in England, like I like London. I don't mind. But then during the time when the whole process of him being let go, he decided to cut the promo. And if, he decided to cut that promo during the whole wave of people were let go. So he had no idea of the rest of the individuals that was being let go when he got out there. So I'm going to say that, if anyone's watching, his ass did not know, but it was just okay. Like eventually, like if someone was to see that, either Impact, he could go back to Impact or maybe Ring of Honor or whatever, whatever that he wants to go, I'm a follow. That's my husband,
Did we ask you how'd you guys meet or no?
Yeah.
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't ask her that. No.
Yeah, I didn't think. How did you guys meet? Because you guys, and this is gonna sound super corny, coming out of me. I love you guys together. I ain't gonna lie to you. You're mad cute.
we're both little people. We're both small people, and
wait, who's taller?
He is. I just wear platforms.
Oh.
She's like, I just be fooling y'all.
But how did you guys meet though?
We met on a blind date by Matt and Rebby Hardy. I used to
what?
What? I love it. I told you they're not cute.
A whole blind date?
Yeah, so basically what happened was he slid
cute.
He slid into my DMs, and of course, because I used to wear the Native American feathers and stuff, because during the time when I first got into wrestling, I was doing a Native American gimmick because I felt like there wasn't many natives out there. Mm-hmm. So he slid into my DMs on Instagram, and the first thing that he said to me was, "Hello, Pocahontas lady," and I'm like,
that was the lie.
Yes.
That's low-key just incorrect, but
yeah.
Hello, it's to the point where it starts a conversation.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, but it's your face kind of
what?
Usually I get an unsolicited picture.
I mean, this is the lounge. So makes sense.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay. Who the hell is this clown? Who's this guy? So we went to texting back and forth to chit-chatting, and then he seemed very witty. So if you can make me laugh, that's a plus. And it's like a lot of people, you know, some of these dudes or whatever, like, what do you see in him? Blah blah blah. I'm like, he seriously makes me laugh. Like, your looks will fade, but can you make me laugh when I'm all crippled and gray? You know, like. And
she's smart.
You know, like, I think he's handsome. He's my cup of tea. He may not be others, you know, and I may not be other people, you know, like some people, you know, like you could be the ripest, juiciest peach in the world, but not everybody like ripe, juicy peaches. You know,
Bars.
But, yeah, like he made me laugh. He was very witty. He was very smart. He was actually able to hold like intellectual conversations, because like some of these dudes on these Instagrams that slide in messages, y'all need Jesus. Like, because they think they either have a big unsolicited picture. I'm like, no, that's not.
Listen, no female likes unsolicited pictures. It just doesn't.
It doesn't. It just makes the woman run further away. Like, does this look like I have on my forehead? Send it to me. No. If you could actually have an intellectual conversation with me, you may spark someone like me my interest. Other than that, you're not going to get anywhere, Jack.
Fellas, you hear that?
That was words from Renee Michelle. Good advice.
Public service announcement.
PSAs are real.
Yeah, it's just like, have a conversation. Like, nobody doesn't care to see that. Like, I'm sorry, but it's like, especially if your face not cute too on top of it. like you have it, but it's like, let me see your face.
Going in.
Because it's the truth. That's her journey, because I completely understand that. Like
that don't mean nothing. Let me see your face. Like, you know, do you have a nice, decent body? Do you have a good looking face? Like, are you cute? Like
can I wake up and look at you and still be like, you fine? Like, come on.
We have to make on our face. We have to see you guys without makeup on your face every damn day.
True. That's true. So to clarify, you guys went on a blind date set up by Reba and Matt Hardy.
And Matt Hardy.
Rebby for sure. She like, I had to get her. I'm like, Rebby, like, this is when Matt and Rebby were working with Impact, and I was like, okay, like I clicked on the picture. I'm like, oh, he works for Impact. Like, I know who works at Impact. Rebby, let me hit her up. Yo, Rebby, tell me more about this guy. You know, do you know anything about him? You know, she's like, she got so excited. She was giving me all the tea, everything. But it was so funny because I think like a lot of the girls thought that he was gay because he always.
Nah, don't play my man Drake. I get that a lot too.
Don't play Rockstar Spud. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Because he always say, I don't like girls. And the reason why he said that is like, okay, he doesn't like girls. He likes women. He never said, I like women.
He's smart. He witty.
So when he's saying like, I don't like girls, he mean like girls like in the business that are acting like young girls or acting like girls instead of women. So he's like, I like women. Mm-hmm. So Rebby, she was like, okay, it's like, you mean to tell me like you don't like girls? Like you done with girls, or you the other way type of girls? Like what are you trying to say? Like I'm trying to understand you, because she was like texting me. She's like, I think he's the other way. I'm like, oh, you know, like, you know.
Yo, do you understand that one text message could have ruined the entire? Like that'd have been it.
Yeah. So then he's like, no, Rebby, like I don't like girls, period. Like I like women, but I don't like girls. Like a lot of these girls are just girls, you know, no matter how old they are, they act like girls, you know, like. So
that makes so much more sense.
Yeah. So she was like, I have a winner. He's perfect for you. Like, because like he didn't want to date anybody in the business. I didn't want to date anybody in the business. We were just both done with that. Like we're like, people in the business are
why?
Yeah, they're not. They're emotionally unstable creatures.
Well,
really?
Yes. Some sort of craziness to be in this industry.
That is true. True. My coach told me that one time. He said something has to be wrong with you to be in this business.
Yeah.
Like he legit said that, because literally every time you take a bump, it's like being in a car crash.
Yes, that is true.
So makes sense. You're right. You're right.
Something got me slightly off about you.
What kind of crazy you're willing to deal with?
That's the magic
That is
question.
important. That is very important. A level of craziness. Not
Yeah,
everybody
there's
can
different
handle.
levels.
Yeah.
So Renee, I think I figured out why you get so nervous in the ring with Mickie James.
Why?
She's Native American. So that ancestral like love hits. Nah, not working. Nah, that didn't make sense. Okay, cool. I thought that might be it. Or Renee just looked at me like I was crazy.
I got bad love for Mickie. I got deep.
I'm just saying, maybe that's why you're so nervous, because the love and the background is just so similar.
Yeah,
no,
maybe it might be. I'm like, wow, like we're very similar. You know, during the time I was living in Fredericksburg, Virginia, she was living in Richmond, Virginia, and then we're like 30 minutes from each other. You know, and you know, she used to go to the school called Bone Breakers or something like that, which is now called MCW.
Oh wow.
Was from MCW. So it's like it's kind of similar in a little bit of like comparison in a way. And then on top of that, it's like, you know, like learning, like hearing about her stories and hearing like, you know, the stuff that she went through and everything. It's like, wow, I got all the time in the world for Mickie. It's just like I just got to get over being nervous in the ring with her. She's the only one.
That just means that's a special thing. Like when you're nervous, that's a good type of nerves. Like I would rather be nervous than not be nervous, because then I know like this is a magical moment for me.
Yeah, there's something about Mickie. That's all I have to do. There's something about Mickie. I can't figure it out, but I'm gonna figure it out one day.
That's awesome, man. That is so awesome.
Yeah. So, non-wrestling question: what type of music are you into?
Oh, I like listening to all sorts. Where do I begin? Ooh,
like, what's on repeat right now? Like, if you got in the
what's
car
your current right now,
and you had to drive to a show, an hour long, what are like some songs you are a must? Like that's being played.
I mean, I like house music.
Can't go wrong with that.
Are you into go-go since you're from that area?
No, I tried to get into it and I couldn't.
Really?
Wow. Yeah, I couldn't. Like, you know, like, I mean, I like Bob Marley, but that's just about it, you know? But go-go, like, I couldn't get into go-go. I tried very hard, and, like, maybe it's not hitting to tempo that I like, that I could beat to or whatever, but it's like, I like listening to house music. I like listening to Russian house music. I like listening to Indian music, like Bollywood Indian music. Mm-hmm. I like listening to Korean pop. I like listening to J-rock. I listen to almost everything. I'm not like really picky. You know, I like to, like, my variety of music, it expands, but definitely like I like listening to like Avicii or something like that.
Oh, so we just going to Spain and we just gonna turn up one time.
So what are your favorite? Like... So what are your favorite movies?
My favorite movie, Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yes. Woo! I'm waiting for it to come on Netflix or something so I can see it.
Yeah. Because you love Japan so much, do you watch anime?
I used to watch anime when I was younger.
Any favorite animes from back in the day that you watched?
Oh yeah, there was like Sailor Moon to Gundam Wing to Inuyasha to Tenchi Muyo to Gundam Wing was like a very old school one.
Gundam Wing was fire.
That's a classic right there.
That's a classic. I haven't heard nobody say Gundam in a long time. So props to you for that.
Yeah.
There was like, I guess like, remember like the old school Street Fighter like cartoons that they used to have
on the USA Network? Yeah, I remember that. Early in the morning, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like I like those type, like how the way those cartoons were drawn versus drawn now, like how the cartoons are drawn now. I feel like the old school cartoons that have more detail in their artwork and drawing.
Yeah,
then
I can see that.
Like, I don't know, it's like you gotta look at, like, if you look at the, like, let's say for Friday, an old school like comic book, X-Men, right, versus like how they drawing comic books now. Very different.
No, you're right. You're right. It is a whole different ball game on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
Now, I guess back into the wrestling side of things. Like during this pandemic, a lot of cleansing to say has happened. Yeah. Like, what are some of your thoughts on kind of that time period where some skeletons in the closet were coming out and things like that? Like, what were some of like your thoughts that were going on during that time?
I'm not in it.
She's
like, I don't know.
My name is Bennett and I ain't in
it. Yeah.
But how do you think now? How do you think that now that that's kind of happened and kind of wrestling kind of has hit the reset button? Like, how do you think that has now going to affect the independent scene in wrestling for women?
Ooh,
that's a heavy question.
Ooh, boy.
Will it get better? Will it stay the same?
I hope that it does get better. Yet you also have to understand, and it does not. Even though I'm not saying it's acceptable because of the culture, any type of entertainment that you get into, rather stuff like this have happened. And stuff like this have happened for so many years, to the point that I think certain individuals go like, oh, it is what it is. But it's like, no, because how long is it okay and acceptable?
Nah, that's deep. Yo, Renee, you've been spitting bars this whole interview. Thank you.
Like for real. So I guess as we're gonna probably just kind of wind down, talk about I guess your next your next match coming up down in Tampa that we'll be there for.
Yes, Miss Shaw Guerrero.
I'm the daughter of the late great Eddie Guerrero.
Yes. I'm looking forward. See, she's been out of the loop for like a few years. I would say I think about 6 years or so. See, I haven't been out of the loop that long. I've still been perfecting my craft. I've been studying. So I'm waiting for that Tabasco sauce.
She just got spicy. She just got spicy.
She want all the smoke.
I want. See, I eat Tabasco sauce, so it does not bother me one bit.
Did she just cut a promo on us, guys?
Yeah, she cut a promo.
Okay. All right.
Where will this match be, Renee?
It will be in Tampa, Florida, on November 13th, and you could definitely I'll post it out there all over my social media, and for Generation Championship Wrestling.
Okay.
Oh man.
All right, guys. Any last questions before?
No, for Renee, thank you. Thank you for taking a little bit out of your night to talk a little bit wrestling life and blind dates with us.
Blind dates. Guys, those are still real.
That was so funny because it was we were dating for 6 months. We kept it on download for 6 months. And then I think around when WWE had their show here in Orlando, Florida, that's when we started coming out. And it was so funny because he was introducing me as his girlfriend. And I'm like, so I'm your girlfriend already? We're coming out like that? Okay. So I put on my Facebook in a relationship. And the first text he sent to me that morning, because we were both having a great time, a lot of drinks, enjoying ourselves, blah, blah. So he woke up to the text in a relationship. So the first text he sent me, the fuck? I'm like, well, you were introducing me as your girlfriend. Then there you go. What, do you want me to delete it? Because I can't. He's like, no, it's okay. I'm like, okay then. That's how you reel them in, lady, then trap them. And then now you.
Come on, man. Don't tell him that, please, man. The next thing you know, I'm in 50 different relationships. Don't do that.
Yeah.
No, that's how I got trapped.
Figure out if he's really a keeper from that situation or not.
Nah, that's how I got trapped.
Don't do
really?
That. Yeah, basically.
Damn.
Don't do that to me, ladies. Don't do that to me.
Keep dealing with me and introducing me as your girlfriend, then you're going to take the roles and the responsibility.
Gotta play the part.
But you know, he fell hard. He fell really hard, and then he proposed to me in England, top of the London Eye.
Oh
man,
my man is a romantic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. My son's swaggy.
That was in him. And then what's really great is that, like, it's not like he went to like any type of like jeweler. He went to this old woman that's like, she's been working there. She's like 80-something-year-old woman, but she's been working there since she was like 15 years old. So she knew like her diamonds and everything. And then of course she was like, you know, James, he was asking like one of my close girlfriends that I know like from high school, like, what kind of style do I like? I'm not a godly person. I like something like elegant, simplicity that I could wear every day. I use my hands a lot because, you know, like I like to cook. I like to do home improvement stuff. I like, you know, getting my hands in a lot of things. So I like this because not only that it's from his country, but also it's like a meaning behind it. And it's like, it's very chic. It's very elegant. I could wear it with almost everything and not have to have like a big rock and like having it like fall all over the place. Like, I don't need to do that. I don't need that. I like a meaning behind it.
Dang.
I love it.
Yeah.
So sweet.
He surprised me. I had no idea it was coming. And it was funny because I'm afraid of heights. And as many flips and stuff that I do, like, I thought it was just like a typical Ferris wheel, but it's like, no, that thing takes like a half an hour going up and then a half an hour going back.
And that's the okie doke. Don't all those Ferris wheels. The one in Orlando does that. The one in Chicago does that. No.
Yeah. And like, he was trying to figure out how to get me off the middle of the seat because I wasn't trying to move. I need all like, but thank God, like, you know, I thought it was like a little date, you know, like he like there with the champagne and there with the truffles. I'm like, oh, he's trying to be romantic, but I'm not trying to deal with his height, you know, so. Let's just say I drank like more than half of the champagne bottle because I couldn't handle it.
She almost fucked up her whole engagement.
Yeah. Yes. It took that much courage to get me to stand up. And then as soon as like the photographer were taking pictures, I thought it was just like maybe for the website. And then I turn around and he's on his knees. So
did you like cry? You was like,
oh my God. I did.
Shout out to Drake, man.
Yeah. He's doing it out here, man.
He out here swaggy, smooth.
I might steal that.
Just but let him know the hey Pocahontas lady.
Yeah. I mean,
that's
it's different.
Solid.
I mean,
that's a solid like no.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to get canceled, so I'm not gonna say hey Pocahontas lady. So nah.
You know, there's nothing wrong with that. It tickled me. It made me. Like,
no, it treats your interest. You were just like, wait, what? Like,
yeah, because you're getting like the stereotypical like, hey, mama, you sexy, blah, blah, blah. Let me send you unsolicited dick. But I mean, that came out my mouth. But it's like,
oh, trust me, girl, we cuss all the time. I ain't worried about it. You ain't say nothing.
Like, you know, if you throw like humor into it, like you'll be surprised what type of woman you'll get with humor. You know,
ladies and gentlemen, PSA from Renee Michelle.
This whole episode, she's been giving you guys gems on how to get a lady. Fellas, listen.
Yeah, and then let alone on top of that, it's like, you know, like I call him Honey Bunny because I love the movie, you know, Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
I told y'all.
Yeah, so that makes sense because you like when you guys would do segments like on Raw and stuff, you would say that.
Yeah, but I generally do call him that.
She calls him that.
Wow.
I call him that all the time. He is my honey bunny. He makes me laugh.
He's like, stop talking about me.
Yeah, so he makes me laugh and everything. And which was so funny, if you really think about like the history with tunes and stuff, it's actually Roger Rabbit actually the big shot guy, not so much Jessica Rabbit. With tunes, they are popular for making people laugh. Jessica Rabbit can't make people laugh.
She was just a pretty face, but she loved Roger Rabbit because he was funny.
But Roger Rabbit was the big shot out of
Wow.
Listen, fellas, all you gotta do is make her laugh. That's it.
Works every time.
Yeah.
Well, Miss Renee Michelle, thank you so much for joining us on our first JTP Lounge episode.
Thank you.
Before we go, you can take the time to plug yourself, plug any upcoming events outside of GCW show if you do have any more. So the floor is yours.
Yes, you can find me online at Instagram, which is Lady RM, or Facebook, which is One Renee Michelle, or Twitter, which is One Renee Michelle. And all the upcoming events, I'll be sure to post those up currently, but the next show that's coming up right now is on November 13th at Generation Championship Wrestling.
There you go. Once again, thank you so much for joining us. This was a blast to kind of get a deeper in-depth information on you personally, professionally. So we really appreciate you taking the time out and joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, guys. So once again, this is Janelle from HR here with Sir Wilkins and Mr. Black. #Black Excellence. #We are out.